Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over applications of the first and second derivative and how they relate to curve sketching. So the first derivative gives us really important information about the function's slope, which basically includes the places where the function is increasing or decreasing, in addition to the relative extrema, so the local max and mins. The second derivative gives us the concavity of the function. So this shows us where it's concave up or concave down. It also shows us our inflection points, which is where the second derivative is equal to 0. When the first derivative is equal to 0, that's called a critical point. Okay, so let's go through some of these key ideas here. Pretty much already went over some of these, but it's increasing where the first derivative is positive. A function is decreasing where the first derivative is negative. It has a relative maximum where the first derivative goes from positive to negative, right? So think of slope going up to slope going down. We have a relative minimum where it goes from negative slope to positive slope. And now let's move on to the second derivative, which has to do with concavity. When the second derivative is positive, it's concave up like a smile. When the second derivative is negative, it's concave down like a frown. The place where the second derivative is equal to 0 is where the concavity changes, and that is called an inflection point. One thing I forgot to note here is that where the first derivative is equal to 0, that is called a critical point. Okay, so moving on. Now, if we need to relate the graphs of a function, its first derivative and its second derivative, these 4 points may be helpful. So when the function has relative extrema, meaning a local max or local min, those are going to occur at critical points where the first derivative is 0. Where the function has inflection points, the second derivative is 0, and that's where the concavity changes. The first derivative sign tells us where the function is increasing or decreasing, and then the second derivative sign again tells us where the function is concave up like a smile or concave down like a frown. All right, let's go ahead and move on.